World's gone mad, damn near insane. So upside down the track, jump the train like a tree on fire. Headed for your house, when the flames get high. Prices gone up, value gone down. A million cars going round and round. I think I'll jump this ship, go to a spot that always sticks. So take a slow drive, backwoods, Kentucky sunshine. Find me a muddy trail, I can keep these old tires spinning around. And I'll take a John boat, John said motor road zip code. Live bay floaters, K and Coors Light, listen to the river sound. When it all goes left, take a hard right turn. Pray the fish still bite and the world don't burn. Where there ain't no rocks, no throwing stones, ain't no damn keeping up with the Joneses. That won't fly like an eagle does in a bluegrass sky. Light shows up, dark disappears. That's the thing about a way out here. So good, so far. Taking it easy ain't so hard. I'll take a slow drive, backwoods, Kentucky sunshine. Find me a muddy trail, I can keep these old tires spinning around. And I'll take a John boat, John said motor road zip code. Live bay floaters and K and Coors Light, listen to the river sound. When it all goes left, take a hard right turn. I pray the fish still bite and the world don't burn. Hope it don't burn. Some folks say I've checked out. I don't know what life's about. Well, I'll be just fine. You do your thing and I'll do mine. Take a slow drive, backwoods, Kentucky sunshine. Find me a muddy trail, I can keep these old tires spinning around. And I'll take a John boat, John said motor road zip code. Live bay floaters, K and Coors Light, listen to the river sound. When it all goes left, take a hard right turn. I pray the fish still bite and the world don't burn. I pray the world don't burn. I pray the fish still bite and the world don't burn. I pray the fish still bite and the world don't burn. I pray the fish still bite and the world don't burn.
Hello out there. We're on the air. Good morning, everybody. Looks different in here. Why? What's different? I don't know. Anyways, do you guys mind giving me a quick, you can hear me? Had some issues with my sound yesterday for the first time in a while. Don't know what it was. But let me know if I'm clear, if you can hear me and if I'm clear. I would appreciate that. I'll give it a few seconds here. And loud and clear, right on. All right, let me know. Looks like we got a good crew in here today. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know where you're watching the show from today. I'm in Canada. I'm in the country that's on fire. Cheers. And I got my new hoodie on. What do you guys think of this? Better stand up so you don't see the mess in here. What an amazing hoodie. This might be the best hoodie I've ever had. I think it's my new fave. It's been in production for a while. We were kind of putting this together for, I don't know how long it was. It seemed like it was a long time to get here. I couldn't get it to Canada first, but we got it here, and I love it. Big fan of this hoodie. Big fan. CATHIE Wood. So I've had the link in my show notes for a while now, but I never had it to like showcase here. But this thing is legit. Really, really, really solid quality, and just a badass hoodie. So if you want one, I think they're pretty cheap. I think they're like $50 American, maybe $60. But I'll try to find a link in case you want to go check it out. It's actually from Proof of Ink. They're a Bitcoin company. So that's where this one came from. I was part of the design team with it, so I'm happy to promote it. What's going on over on Zapstream? We got a couple people there. We got Letha. Zap 2.1 thousand sats to start the show today. Thank you, Letha. Letha said there's lots of wildfires in South Carolina. It seems to be the most expensive areas. Myrtle Beach. News was saying they were considering smart cities recently. They better not mess with Myrtle Beach. I've never been there, but I want to be there. I'm there in my mind right now. What was I doing? Oh, yeah, CATHIE Wood. CATHIE Wood, where are you? Let me find the CATHIE Wood shirt. There it is. You can get this in a hoodie, which I prefer. Also got a t-shirt. So you can get just such a nice color. It's like a nice cream. And you kind of show off being a Bitcoiner without having a Bitcoin logo on it. I like it because most Bitcoiners know who CATHIE Wood is. So I feel like this is going to be a really useful hoodie. Okay, let's check back in with the chat here over on the YouTubes. Busy spot. Jay. Allahu Akbar. What the heck does that mean? Is that good morning in India? I don't know. That'd be my guess. Ginger, good morning. Big day in government. Hey, there's Arnie. Proof of Arnie. Cleaner Machines here. Joshua, good morning, Jor and Arn. Ontario is here. Morning, Josh. I got a nice present coming from Josh here in the next little while. You guys are going to like it. Killer, good morning. J-Dog says, did I spy you on Bram's Bitcoin for Millennials yesterday? He's great. Followed him for some time. I look forward to watching. I was on Bram's show yesterday. I was wearing this exact same outfit. It's almost like I slept in it. But yeah, that interview should be out. He said he's got some backlog. He just had his second kid. So he's got some backed up. So it might be a couple weeks before you can watch it. But it was I had a really good chat with Bram yesterday. Him and I get along pretty well together, obviously. But yeah, that'll be coming out soon. Good morning, Morrow. Let's check on Arnie's wallet here. What's going on? Hey, we got 800. We got a fat zap in there. 888 sats to this one. Arnie's wallet. If you're watching this now or later, the replay. I want to call it the replay today. The people who watch the show in the afternoon, the replay. I mean, it's not live, but still pretty close. I hang out in the chat, but I must say the morning show pulls the majority of the weight around here in terms of contributions to the show. So big shout out to the morning crew here. Josh, it looks like, said Arn, chaos, now. So thank you, Josh. And thank you to the morning crew for keeping the lights on in here. Because the afternoon crowd, not so much. But that's okay. I also want to give a shout out to, I don't know who this was from. It was an anonymous zap that came through last night. I have an idea. just based on the number. It's funny how I can usually tell who it is based on the number. But this was 11,884 sats. And I don't know who it's from. They didn't leave their name. Well, how come it's so dark in here? What's going on, Art? How come it's so dark out there? But anyways, if somebody's watching this and sent that in, thank you. That was very, very nice of you. Letha is in both chats. Buck52. We got Duncan. We got Ian. Good morning, gang. Arnie and co-host Jor. Work extra hard for the cheap extra sats. They won't be cheap long. Your future self will thank you. Amen to that. Cashmere Fire. Good morning. Anyways, I forgot to mention this, but that first, the song I started with today was another Kip song. So this is day 2 of Kip. We're going to do it all week. I'm going to play 4 different songs here. Wish I could play more. I might carry it into next week, but I'm trying to kind of tie it into the show. So that song was called Burn. Pray the fish still bite and the world don't burn. Basically talking about, like, I think it's a perfect representation of exactly where we are right now. Like, the world is going fucking bananas out there. And I think you can get as attached and stressed out and anxious about it as you want to, or you can go fishing. And I liked one of the lyrics in the song that said, when the world goes left, take a hard right turn. And I'm sure everybody here's seen the meme of, like, you know, the highway's going this way, but then there's a hard right where you slam on the brakes and go right. That's kind of the vibe I got from that song. And I think, you know, for a while here, we were doing Take It Easy Tuesdays, where it's just like, okay, take Tuesday, just relax a little bit. You got the rest of the week to be stressed out, but Tuesdays, just take it easy. So it's going to be kind of the theme for today. I'm going to go through a post here talking about the volatility that's coming here, the turbulation I think we can expect for the next little while, and kind of how we should be thinking about it and handling it. So that's on the agenda today. My name is Jordan too, but I've never been called Jor. Interesting. My name is actually not Jordan, but it's close to that. And but I do know some Jordans. I know quite a few Jordans, but there's a couple in my life that I know well, and they go by Jor as well to their friends and family. Hey, look who it is, Bit Billy. Good morning, Bit Billy. Great to see you, man. Great to see you. Tom says, good morning, huddle tight and stack it right. Jor. Bit Billy. Good morning, Rick. Good to see you, man. Dale. Good morning, Bitcoin skeptics either don't understand Bitcoin or they have something to lose. Yes, that is true. Bitcoin skeptics, they haven't done their work or they have nefarious agendas. That's it. One of the two. Very simple. Very simple. Dale, I also saw your text last night. I'm going to text you back today. I should have a little bit of time here today to chat with you. So I'll shoot you a text, or I'll shoot you a text after. Morning, Tom. Saber dude. Tom's in Florida. Good for you, Tom. Jealous. Hey, look who it is, Paul. Good morning, Paul. Haven't seen Paul for a while here. Our snowboarding friend, Paul, from the mountains. Morning, Paul. Cheers, buddy. South Carolina also on fire. I didn't know there's fires going on there right now. Hey, Alberta, my man. Florida, Paris, Oregon, the wild and crazy USA, Battle Creek, Michigan, England, BC, Canada, Brazil. Let's go. Lucas, good morning. Donnie's here. All right, look at this. We're almost caught up on the chat this morning. I'm buzzing here. Kyle, good morning. Haven't seen you for a while. Good. Glad you're here, man. We got a Soka over in the Zap stream. Look at this. Soka Zapped 88. Spaceman's here too. Zapped 88. Love that. We should let NOSTR know that we're live as well. I didn't do that. I don't even have my phone on me. What? Where the hell's my phone? Oh, we got the important phone here anyways. We got Arnie's wallet. which I guess is all we really need. So I guess NOSTR isn't going to know that we're live. Although, let me try something here quickly. Let me try this real quickly. Okay, I should have got a message here from Zapstream. Okay, authorize forever. Yeah, okay, that was a dumb question. Zapstream. Okay, we're gonna keep going here. I'll figure this out kind of as we're flying. I guess we won't be able to share it with people today. That's okay. Sorry, Noster. 60-second crypto. Good morning. Hey, Roger. Cheers, Roger. Good to see you in the chat this morning. Shane, Michigan. Look at this. We have people from everywhere in here. Love that. Buck52 says online streamer Amaranth was robbed at gunpoint in her Houston home with attackers demanding Bitcoin. I'm telling you, I don't think that this is something that the average person needs to be concerned about yet, but it's coming. So I really, really, really think that every single person watching this show now, later, whenever, you have to be thinking about this stuff. You have to be thinking about this stuff. And I mean, there's a couple different things you can do to kind of prepare for it. And the biggest thing I would suggest is, like, you can talk about Bitcoin. Like, I have no issues with people talking about Bitcoin and wearing Bitcoin stuff and helping grow this network of people and community. But don't ever, 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 under any circumstances, to anybody, tell them how much Bitcoin you have. Never. And I'm not talking like strangers that you meet on the street or on a plane. I'm talking like your brother and your best friend and people in your life that you think that you trust, because you never know how that's going to get out. And one thing for sure is that they're never going to forget how much you told them. Right? So let's say that you told your brother that you had 50 million sats, and he's like, okay, that's cool. That's, you're doing pretty well for yourself. But then in 2 years, and maybe between then and now, he might have had a couple beers. He might have told somebody, Jor has this amount or whatever. And then when 50 million sats is worth 10, 20, 30x from today, like, you're putting a huge target on your back, and there's really no way to undo that. That's the problem with it. Once you tell somebody, it's out. So people should not be taking this lightly, honestly. And I know that things will improve. I'm sure we'll get to a point in the future where it's like not even worth it to try to take somebody's Bitcoin, but we're not there yet. I'd say like 95% of people have their Bitcoin security at the lowest possible level. So we're going to go through a lot of like really scary, eye-opening times here, I think, for the next couple of years and beyond. And you need to be aware of that. So the last thing I would say to that is that just be aware. I know this is like, for a lot of people, this is kind of a little ways away, but just be aware that there is a way where you can have zero trace of Bitcoin in your house, whether it burns down, whether the government shows up, whether you get attacked by or robbed. There are ways that exist today that you don't have to have a trace of Bitcoin in your house. And that's what I'm working towards. I just got my laminator here a couple days ago. So that's what I'm going to have in place. There's going to be zero trace of Bitcoin in this house. No devices, no paper, no steel, nothing. And I think that that's where everybody should be working towards. And the other part of that too is that you'll still maintain full control and full ownership without having to trust anybody else while doing that. There's a way to do it. And if you've been showing up here every day, it's with encryption. So kind of my plan is I want to have zero trace of Bitcoin in my house. I want to basically have all of my Bitcoin, not all of it, but like, let's say 2, 3, 5% of it on my Aqua wallet on my phone, but that's it. And that's what I'll be able to easily access. Whereas everything else will be a little bit more tough for me to access, but that's okay. That's what you want. So again, I'm still going to maintain full control, full ownership over the keys to that Bitcoin without trusting anybody else. But it's going to be away from me completely. So I'm hoping to get there in the next couple months. I have to move a little bit faster, I think, than most people, just because, I'm on the internet talking about this stuff every day. But, if you have at least I wouldn't even say that. If you have any sort of Bitcoin right now in any sort of amount, this is stuff you need to be thinking about. So, the one thing I would say, and we've had a ton of people reach out in the last couple of weeks, and we're trying to do our best to kind of, get everything organized and get everybody looked after. But if you want to set up a call with myself and Craig, or you want me to send some information about what the services that we offer, just shoot me an email. And this is serious stuff. And we're the only company. Are we a company? We're the only entity that's providing the solution. It doesn't really exist anywhere else. So I know that the demand for devices is going to go up, but I think the demand for what we provide is going to go up significantly. So while you can start thinking about it, start preparing now. It's a very slow process, but it is something that you want to be thinking about today. So just shoot me an email, put super backed in the title of the email, and I'll send some information. And if you're interested and want to get it set up, then we can set up a call. It's don't take this stuff lightly. It's scary, truly. If you're messing up here, you can mess up big time. So anyways, good morning, LaughPad. Washington State. So Washington State is different than DC, correct? Like Washington, DC. Washington State, I think, is on the West Coast. I'm not a geography expert, but I think I'm decent at it. Northeast England. All right. I actually had a call with somebody last night. They were in the East. As soon as I started talking to him, I was like, "Where are you from? East Coast?" He's like, "Yep." I was like, "I knew it. I can pick up on an East Coast accent very quickly." He wasn't from East Coast of Canada, which is a much stronger accent, but I could still tell. Look who it is. Bodie's in the chat. Good morning, Bodie. Bodie must be busy. I haven't seen much of him lately. Seen or heard from him. I only hear from Bodie on Thursdays now. Plunger's over in the chat and zapped 1,000 sats. Thank you, Plunger. Appreciate that, my friend. We got a decent crowd over there, considering we didn't share it with anybody. Donnie says, New York City and the house fires are from a new lithium mining land grab. I feel like there's a lot of that happens. They want to build something or expand, then they just burn shit down and say, "Oh, it's a wildfire. Oops." Blame the weather. Okay, so Brett says Amaranth also posted a picture of her Coinbase account with 211 Bitcoin in it. What? What am I doing wrong here? Never even heard of this person. Amaranth? What is she? An online streamer. 211 Bitcoin. Wow. I mean, good for her, but also what I must have taken the wrong hard right turn. My God. Okay. Santino, I need to get that out of my head. Best solution to a brain wallet with no evidence of anything written down. I disagree with that big time. Actually, I watched about 5 minutes of Marty Bent TFTC this morning with Jack Kruse. And the first thing he said is, don't memorize your private key. Don't memorize your private key. And I've actually changed my mind on this in the last couple months too. I used to tell people like, yeah, just have your private key memorized just in case everything goes wrong. But I really believe that that's one of the worst things you can do now is memorize your private key. So this is not the best solution. It's not even a good solution. I think it's a waste of time and it's a bad thing. Encryption is the best solution. Exactly. Not true. People get hypnotized and drugged all the time. Logan says, howdy from Texas. Work getting busy, but try to tune in when I can. Well, welcome. Noob. Oh, this guy's having a day here today. SuperBacked is not open source, just like Coldcard. I would never use closed source code with Bitcoin. It's not closed source. It's not open source, but you can look at it and you can verify it. And it has been verified by the most prominent figures in privacy security in Bitcoin. And it's not open source because they're actually going to be commercializing with banks, lawyers, notaries around the world. So it's not open source, but it's definitely not closed source. You can go into GitHub and verify the code yourself for SuperBacked. So stop spreading bullshit. Santino says, great podcast with Bram. Yes, it was. It was a really good episode. I think that people will get a lot from that one. I do. I hope anyways. So, yeah, okay. So, I mean, she was just being stupid by the sounds of things. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Letha, too. If I had like a fraction of that, I wouldn't be anywhere near the internet. Coldcard is not open source either, but I'm pretty sure it's similar where you can verify the code. But yeah, Coldcard is not open source, which is kind of weird to me because NVK, which is the creator of the Coldcard, he's one of the board members of OpenSats, which basically all they do is fund open source projects. So to me, it's a little bit weird, but at the same time, again, just like SuperBacked, it's not fully open source, but you can verify the code. Correct. Washington State versus Washington. All right. So, I'm doing all right. Nate. Oh, man. Okay, BitBilly, look at this. BitBilly says, talk to us about the wild market, George. Trump seems to be shocking the market. Is there manipulation, simply fear? What you think? All right, let's get to that right now. Because I have a bit of a post here I wanted to share on this. And this is kind of what I've been thinking as well. I just wasn't able to articulate it as well. But thankfully somebody else has for me. How come you're not working here? Is everything running okay here? It seems like here we go. We're back. All right, let's bring this up. Let's get to BitBilly's question here. Everybody's wondering the same. So we had a huge weekend in Bitcoin. Huge. I think it was the biggest biggest candle we've ever seen in Bitcoin's history. And in the last 2 days, it went right back down to where we were before. So I saw something today that when Bitcoin surpassed 10K for the first time, it actually dropped down 16 times before it stayed above it forever. And I think we've gone through only 6 times of going to 100 and then coming back down. So expect that it's going to go up and down for a little while still. This is a very normal thing that we're going through in Bitcoin. But I'm going to talk about kind of like what's going on in the world, what's being caused by Trump in the US, what kind of impact that's having on the markets. I think that this post here from Stack Hodler sums it up really well. And it's, so let's check this out. I don't need a prelude for it. All right, let me take this off here as well. So the post here, we're going to go through it. So it says investors are slowly realizing that Trump is sincere. Who would have thought? He is upending the global economic and geopolitical order right in front of us. Tariffs are real, which just kicked into Canada here today. 25% tariff. Everybody's going nuts. Deglobalization is real. Realpolitik is real. The rules of the game are changing in real time. and global capital is scrambling to keep up. Expect volatility. The rules of the game are changing. That's what we're going through right now. It's a good thing, it's a bad thing, but it's a thing. It's happening right in front of our eyes. So expect volatility. I think that's what we need to be doing right now. Just get ready for it. And that's why I put that song at the start of the show. Is just, instead of worrying about it, instead of getting stressed out and anxious about it, just go fishing. While stocks begin to melt down in the face of uncertain economic outlook, gold remains strong near all-time highs. And although this is a Bitcoin show, we're also deep down gold bugs. We've just found the better gold. But we very much relate with gold bugs because gold bugs are we're the first to kind of realize that there's a problem in the monetary system. And if you look at any other asset class compared to gold over the last 30 years, 40 years, gold has been the one true measuring stick through all that. Not even real estate has been as stable and as consistent as gold through that time. So gold's kind of what we're comparing to here. And gold remains strong near all-time highs right now, just like Bitcoin. And so this is a clear signal that now is the time for scarce, neutral, reserve assets to shine. Gold first, Bitcoin next. There's plenty of risk froth built into the Bitcoin price, and it's currently being drained. Any asset that goes up 100% plus in a year will attract fast capital. True. But in an uncertain world, there's no more certain asset than Bitcoin. Why? Well, it's finite. It has a fixed supply. It's neutral. It's not controlled by anybody. Has no emotions. It's code. It's a clear set of rules. 24/7 liquidity. This is something that a lot of people overlook within Bitcoin. And this is why it is so volatile. It's because it's the only market that's open 365 days a year, 24/7, 7 days a week. So it's liquid. It's the most liquid asset that exists. Anytime you want to sell your Bitcoin, there's going to be somebody else there to buy it from you. It's a pretty big deal. And there's no counterparty risk. You don't have to worry about a company going out of business. You don't have to worry about a company telling you no. There's no permission. There's no counterparty risk. You get to hold this asset yourself. It's the only asset that you can truly own. No amount of price volatility will change these characteristics. That's important, which is an ideal combo for the world that we're heading into right now. So just understand that. Just really let this part soak in here. No amount of price volatility will change these characteristics within Bitcoin. So just because Bitcoin goes from 70 to 110 to 80 to 100 to it's just jumping up and down, but that has no impact. Nothing's changed, in other words. It's still the exact same asset. And it's perfect for the world that we're heading into right now. So it says, this is exactly what Larry Fink meant in January when he said, if you're frightened of the economic or political stability of your country, you can have an internationally based instrument called Bitcoin that will overcome those local fears. So this is an important one because here in Canada, for me anyways, Bitcoin's been my savior. Everybody here in Canada is in absolute shambles right now because the prices of everything are going up. The tariffs, 25% kicked in today. Everything's very expensive. Our dollar's weakening. The government has no real assets. They sold the gold. Our economic outlook is horrible. We have horrible leadership in government. Things could not be worse in Canada right now. If you're saving your time and energy in Canadian dollars, things could not be worse for you. They just couldn't. But if you're holding Bitcoin, that's what you do is you hold Bitcoin because the Prime Minister of Canada, the Prime Minister dipshit of Canada, can't do anything. He can even help Bitcoin. He can't hurt it, but he can help it. So that's what you want. You want an asset that your government cannot mess with and something that is going to be stable through a lot of unstable times in your country. So as it stands today, we appear to be headed into a rough moment for global markets. Negative vibes will be everywhere as people lose money and attempt to cling to the old world. Yes. Very, very accurate here. Negative vibes will be everywhere as people lose money and attempt to cling to the old world. But this is an opportunity to train yourself to focus on the positive. Keep the negative stuff out and focus on the good stuff. That's exactly why I started that show today, this show, with that song. Because that's exactly what you need to do. The lyrics were, I pray the fish still bite and the world don't burn. Nothing you can do. So just like remain positive, check out. Don't spend all your days and time checking Twitter and doom scrolling and checking the price. Like, life goes by fast enough. You don't need to stress yourself out and cause a whole bunch of anxiety over something that you have zero control over. Even if it's just your morning coffee, some good sunlight, some morning sunlight, and a few owls that survive the winter cold. Opportunities are everywhere for those who stay positive and optimistic. It's time to build your own golden age. That might be my favorite post in a very long time, and it's absolutely true. And I think that I replied to it, but we won't be able to see it though. I said I wish I could zap this post. And I do. That to me, that perfectly sums up everything that we're going through right now. Not just like what we're going through, but like what you can do about it. So that's what I got. We got the Grinder over there. Morning, Grinder. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. All right, what do we got over here? Point being that 211 Bitcoin is shocking. We remember that amount and never talk about it. Yes, true. True. You're going to remember for a long time now that some random online gamer had 211 Bitcoin. It's just the kind of stuff that burns into our minds. It just triggers something emotionally and psychologically that, you don't forget it. Okay, Noob Sailboat, what do we got here today? Don't memorize your private key, but come with your own phrase. Sure. Cold card Q ripped off the passport. They initially said they would never use QR. Okay. Close. We're pretty close here to a ban or a mute, at least. A little timeout, maybe. Passport ripped off cold card, so they moved to source verifiable. I think that's what it was. I think that's more accurate. Source verifiable. That's what. That's exactly what SuperBacked is too. Just go fishing. That's right. Bit Billy says, I just keep buying, but boy, it's a bit scary. Hope that facing these fears pays off big one day. Yeah, I mean, that's what you just have to ask yourself is like, what changed? Price went down. What changed? Nothing. Markets are going to be crazy here for a while. And I think that if we just accept that instead of trying to fight it and resist it, if we're just open to it, then we're going to do much better through these next few years. Units of measure, sats, ounces, correct. No longer dollars, sats. Droid to kill, good morning. Connor says, as much as I tried to deny it, Bitcoin language sounds more like a cult to me every day, and I'm here for it. I don't know if it's a cult. I think that's been one of the common narratives around Bitcoin for the last couple of years is that it's a cult. I honestly think that it's just a different way of living your life. And I said that on a podcast one day. I think it was like a podcast with Paula. I think Bitcoin Edge did an interview with her about a month ago. You can go find that. I don't think it was a very, I never really shared it or anything, but it, there's a fads app. That one caught my attention. Oh, I missed a couple here. All right. So again, you want to perform a magic trick here live on the show. You send a couple sats there to that QR code and the whole room lights up green here. So I missed one for anonymous zap of 2,000 sats, a fad zap. So thank you for that. And somebody just sent in 8,888, our absolute favorite zap. I mean, anything with the 88 in it is my favorite zap. I'm sure 88,000 sats would be more of a favorite zap, but realistically, this is our favorite zap. So whoever sent that, thank you. 8,888 sats. But anyways, getting back to this, Bitcoin sounds like a cult to me every day. I really don't think that it's a cult. I mean, again, you have to like look at what the meaning of a cult is, and I don't know it myself, so I'm not going to pretend that I do. But I don't think that that Bitcoin would be a cult. I think that Bitcoin is just a completely different way of life. On the podcast I was on, I said like Bitcoin has changed every single cell in my body. And so it's a mindset shift. It's a different perspective. It's a different mentality. It's a different view on the world. And like you switch the timing in your life too. You switch from like being a very short term, got to have everything today. Whatever I do today, I need to be rewarded for it and like recognized for it, to I'm going to put in work today that's going to pay off in the future. And I'm going to get some of that, but the majority of it is going to flow to my kids and their kids in the future. So it's not even anything that's financial. It's a completely different way of looking at the world and thinking about things. It ties in a lot with history. It ties in a lot with philosophy. It ties in a lot with health. Because when you have a broken monetary system and you give a small group of people the ability to print money, that's what leads to very poor quality, unhealthy. I mean, it's the quality. That's what everything comes back to. You look at architecture, the quality of the materials, the quality of the work. You look at our health, the quality of the ingredients that we've been putting into our bodies for the last couple decades and beyond that. When you have a broken money, you have to make things cheap in order to hide how broken the money is. Right? Think about that, because if we had, inflation's just been going crazy for since the pandemic. Actually, since 2008, inflation's been crazy. And so how do they mask inflation? I mean, they're doing a pretty shitty job at it, but imagine if we had like the same quality of ingredients as we had back in the 60s and 50s and before that. Imagine if we had the same quality of ingredients, how much the products would cost. Everything costs 10 times more than it did 10 years ago, and we're using a tenth of the quality that we had in terms of the ingredients. And once you see this kind of stuff, you want to run away from that, and you're never going back to that. And Bitcoin is just kind of like the door that opens up and says, here you go. Come on in. Try things this way for a little while and see how much your life changes, how much your life improves. And then you never go back through that door. So I don't think it's a cult, because there's no like leader in Bitcoin. There's like 10,000 leaders, and there's going to be 100,000 leaders in a couple of years from now. So I know what you're saying there, and I know that you're not trying to like insult me or anybody here, but that's how I see it, anyways. Bodhi says lightning wallet not working. Well, if it was anybody else, I would call you out on it, but I trust you, Bodhi. It's like going to a restaurant and saying, "Oh, forgot my wallet. Sorry." I've used that move a couple times. Prime Minister dipshit. Yeah, our government's a shit show, but that's fine. That's what I mean. Like, I could spend all day worrying about it and thinking about it and stressing out about it, but it's like, who cares? I have Bitcoin. Go fishing. Volatility is a feature, not a bug. It would be concerning for it not to be volatile. I use Bitcoin volatile as a way to explain it's not being a Ponzi scheme. True. Ponzi's can't market correct without imploding. Not that anybody here believes that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme, but yeah, Bitcoin is the only asset that's ever crashed 80% and recovered to a new all-time high after that. So that tells you something. Tells you you're probably in the right spot. Tom says a country boy can survive. That's true. true. I see that as a trend in the next long term. People are going to start moving out of the cities and moving into the country. It's just a much more peaceful, simple life. I shouldn't say never say never, but it would take a lot. I don't even know what it would be to get me back into a city. Just you can't replace this. Like you can't put a price on peaceful. Frankie, the UK, look at that. It's got to be nighttime there soon or now. Look at everything from 10 years in the future point of view. Yep, exactly. That's what we do in living in the future. Everything is, we're living in a world where 1 sat equals $1 already. Money is a tool, not a cult. Correct. Cult revolves around a thought system that is always BS. Bitcoin isn't BS and is verifiable. They just don't make money like they used to. They don't make anything like they used to. What's the 88? I actually talked about this on Bram's channel. I haven't spent a whole lot of time talking about this, but it's the reason I'm here, actually. I kind of, when you get really entrenched into something, you kind of just forget where, how you got there. But like this channel spawned from the 88 Sats project. That's what it was. Like we had our knggolf company, and I started making a couple of videos talking about this idea regarding 88 Sats project. And then I just went live one day, and I've been going live ever since. But anyways, the number 88 comes from, that's the year I was born. And my birthday's on the 8th of December, same as Arnie's. And so that the idea there was we found 88 people, local people. Well, there's some people. There's a guy from Australia, a couple guys from the US. I'm sure there's going to be more people. We actually have a couple shares for sale now. So I've been trying to reach out to a few people who had interest. I know that there's probably going to be 20 to 30 people interested for like a couple shares. But anyways, the idea there is that everybody buys a share. Everybody contributes some Bitcoin. This was in early 2023 when the price of Bitcoin was around $17,000. And we all bought some Bitcoin, 88 people. And the idea there is we're going to wait about 5-10 years and just let Bitcoin just keep it there in a multi-sig and let Bitcoin do what we expected it to do. And with the eventual goal of purchasing our own golf course. So it was kind of like a pipe dream, a crazy pipe dream off the start. But within a month or two, we sold all 88 shares. They've done pretty well. It's 5 or 6x since then. And I really believe that we're going to get our own golf course. And so this channel eventually will shift away a little bit from like the Bitcoin focus to be more Bitcoin and golf. So it started as like a golf channel. Now it's a Bitcoin channel. And in the future, we're going to be able to tell the story of like, everybody contributing about $200 worth of Bitcoin and having a golf course because of it. Pretty cool. I really believe that that's going to happen. So that's where the 88 Sats comes from. And it's cool. It's actually tied into a lot of different things now. Like I zap 88 Sats. That's kind of like my signature trademark zap. Every time I share somebody's post on NOSTR on the channel here, I zap them 88 Sats. So it's cool. It's all kind of just tying together organically. Plastic, good morning. I love when Bitcoin is on sale. Amen to that. I eat gourmet and delicatessen. I don't know what that word is. Thanks to Bitcoin. No inflation. I don't know what either of those things are, but sounds healthy. Is that gourmet? Like, yeah, gourmet. I don't know. Buck52 says, the problem is none of us were around to see what the powers that be did in the past. Yes. And they did a very good job of changing and altering and programming history. Sabian says, a cult is a group with extreme devotion to a leader or belief, often marked by control and isolation. A cult is the exact opposite of Bitcoin by definition. There you go. Stacker says 88 cents radio, Bitkey versus Superback for the purpose of inheritance. How do they compare? It's a really good question. Bitkey is honestly like a really good entry into it. Like if you want that, I mean, it. How could I explain Bitcoin or not Bitcoin? Bitkey. So essentially, you keep one of the keys. I think you keep one of the keys in the cloud, and then Bitkey keeps one of the keys. So it's a 2 of 3 multi-sig. Very hard for you to lose your key, but definitely not safe in terms of Bitkey holds one of the keys. So they obviously know how much Bitcoin you have. So it's a risk of, it's a vulnerability, plus it's a privacy concern. And then they have one of the keys in the cloud, which also, is very vulnerable. It's a risk to holding one of your keys in the cloud. So it's good because it's very hard to lose it. Something would have to go very wrong, I think, for you to lose access to your Bitcoin. But it's not secure. It's not as secure. There's vulnerabilities there. There's KYC concerns in terms of Bitkey knowing how much Bitcoin you have. With Superbacked, we can kind of set up the same kind of thing, but nobody knows how much Bitcoin you have. The full Superbacked service, the security and inheritance protocol that we have, is fully non-KYC. We don't need to know your name even. We don't need to know your address, your phone number, anything like that. Plus, we have no idea how much Bitcoin you have. We have no idea what you're storing in your secret. So I'd say Bitkey is like a really good option for people who don't want to lose their Bitcoin, but it's not a good option if you want to be private and get rid of the vulnerabilities within the setup. It's a good question though. Really good question. Jet says, stopped living in Toronto a few years ago and visited downtown recently. Couldn't wait to leave after just a couple of hours. Oh man. Every time I go into the city, my favorite thing about the city is when I'm leaving the city. So I don't know. Who knows? Not me. Grinder says, I mean, this is a pretty good point. This is what, if you're ever confused about what's going on, you just blame Putin. It's all Putin's fault, including people putting pineapple on their pizza. The funny thing is, I actually love pineapple on my pizza. I make some, probably my favorite pizza is, there's a local company here that makes pizzas. They're kind of like a flatbread, kind of thin crust, solid ingredients. They're made locally, but it has ham and pineapple. And then I put chicken and jalapenos and hot sauce on it. So it has some pineapple for the sweet. It has some spicy for the spice and some quality ingredients there. So I love pineapple on pizza. I don't know what the big deal about it is. Maybe people have just had shitty pineapple and low quality pineapple, but it's good. It's a must have on pizza. But also I can eat like pepperoni, meat lovers, other stuff without pineapple. I don't get what the obsession there is with people hating on pineapple. Pineapple is like the best fruit. And people say, well, yeah, it doesn't belong on pizza. But like, to me, tomatoes, aren't tomatoes a fruit? No, maybe I'm thinking of something else. I don't know. But tomatoes are typically like sweet, kind of like a fruit. I don't know. Who knows? Grinder said, Grinder fires back saying, you love pineapple pizza, have fun staying poor. And follows it up with, it's actually good, just a running gag. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't get the hate for it. But while we were talking about pineapple on pizza there, we got another fad zap. A couple of them. We got one from LaughPad over on the Zap stream. 2.1 thousand sats. Fatty zapping. Thank you, LaughPad. That is very generous of you, my friend. And we got 8,000, another one of our favorite zaps here, 8,888 sats with a salute. So thank you, whoever sent that, anonymous. Beautiful. Kashmir Fire says, is Trezor Wallet trusted and good? That's a tough one for me. That's this is where I am torn. I would say Trezor is trusted and good. Yes. I think it's a very easy wallet for a lot of people to figure out. I think it is a very trustworthy company. They were actually the first hardware wallet that ever existed. The creator of the Trezor wallet was the first hardware wallet that ever existed before. So there's a lot of history there. They have a lot of strong history. My only problem with it, though, is that it connects to a laptop. It connects to a USB, usually connected to the internet. So I think it's good. I just think that there's better than that. But I mean, if you're using a Trezor wallet in a multi-sig, that's good. I think that it's one of the three that you could have: Trezor, Cold Card, maybe Jade. That's a pretty solid wallet. I just wouldn't put all of my Bitcoin. I wouldn't trust Trezor with all of my Bitcoin and connecting it to a computer. Anytime you're connecting your life savings, the greatest discovery in human history, anytime you're plugging that into a laptop that has backdoors in it, it has tracking on it, it's probably been to some malicious websites. I mean, if you had like a bulletproof laptop with everything removed and you're running Trezor on that, yes. But like something just doesn't sit right with me whenever you're plugging in your wallet to a laptop. So again, it's probably good, but when you're talking about the best asset that has ever existed in human history before, it's not something that good's not something that you settle for. Bird Meta, good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, we got lots of what the heck's going on here? We got some spam, maybe? I thought I was caught up. Disc golf. No, we're talking real golf, not disc golf. Although I know there's some disc golfers in the chat here. Oh my God. Grinders. It's never a dull show with Grinder in the chat. Now he says, pineapple is a scam by definition. It doesn't taste like apple, doesn't smell like pine, and doesn't grow on trees. I mean, he's not wrong. And look at this. We got a zap here. We do not discriminate against zaps. LaughPad zapped one sat, saying the lightning fees are outrageous this morning on strike. 3 sats, that's like 0.000001% of Visa's processing fees. Yeah, that's true. But anyways, we're never going to complain. I'm still going to thank LaughPad there for 1 sat. 1 sat is worth more than anybody understands. So thank you for that. And again, I encourage people. You don't have to send in a fad zap. You can send in 1 sat. If you learn anything, if you laughed during the show, if anything that I said resonated with you, you can send 1 sat. It's less about like the monetary aspect. It's more of just like kind of a feedback loop that, I'm talking about the right stuff, where you guys, people value what I'm doing here. So thank you for that, LaughPad. All right, let's see what Plastic has to say here. The non-sovereign hard cap supply global immutable decentralized digital store of value is an insurance policy against its monetary and fiscal policy irresponsibly from central banks and governments global. It's true. It's a really, if you want to confuse somebody, just read that to them. But let's see this. Let's see this next one here, because it looks like BitBilly enjoyed it. Plastic says the problem is not people being uneducated. The problem is that people are educated just enough to believe what they have been taught, but not educated enough to question what they have been taught. That is a great quote. I would agree with BitBilly there. Jimmy says it's a grand coincidence that 88 is gematria for Hail Hitler. Yeah, I mean, you guys caught me. I've had a lot of comments on that. They're like, "What? Do you know what 88 means? Why are you a Nazi?" Like, yeah. Spend 5 minutes listening to my show. You'll tell pretty quickly that my agenda is not to push Hitler's agenda. We mock what we don't understand because we fear what we don't know. That is true. Yeah, definitely. This is exactly right. If you guys want to have your life changed here, try out my pizza. Call it the Jor. Pineapple, ham, cheese, obviously, normal tomato sauce, but you got to put some chicken on there, and you got to add some hot sauce and jalapenos. Your pizza life will never be the same. I agree with this. Trezor needs an air-gapped walled option. And you know what? Actually, going back to one of our earlier comments here, where was this? Where was that? It was about super backed. It's a good opportunity. Where was it? A lot of comments today. So Noob Sailboat back in the chat said super backed is not open source, just like Cold Card. I'll never use closed source. So super backed is actually verifiable, and it has been verified. And actually, one of the guys who helped develop the super backed software was the guy who created the first hardware wallet, the creator of Trezor. So not only has it been verified, it's been verified by the best people in the industry. All right, what do we got here? Jimmy's got some 88 history for us. Should we review? Why not? Easter will fall on 88's birthday today. What does that mean? Who's 88? April 20th, 1889. Totally weird how 88 is the only statesman in history to have thrown a Rothschild in jail. Coincidence that just keep cropping up. I didn't even notice Arnie was sleeping behind us here. He's twitching. He must be dreaming. I don't know who 88 is, though. Easter will fall on 88's birthday this year. I don't know. I must be missing something here. Sabian says, I don't like Trezor or Ledger at all. Both have had problems before. I haven't heard of any problems with Trezor. I know that Ledger's had a ton of issues with it, but maybe enlighten me here, because I must have missed something. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. I would avoid Ledger like the plague. Trezor is a good option in the multi-sig. I think I trust Trezor. I shouldn't have to, but I do. And I don't like that it plugs into a computer, though. I had a Trezor. That was my first hardware wallet, a Trezor. Also, Trezor is good if you have like altcoins that you're still holding on to. You never want to mix your altcoins with your Bitcoins. So Trezor is a good option if you have altcoins, but you don't want to mix them together. You could just keep your altcoins on your Trezor wallet. Brett says, Godwin's law. As an online discussion grows longer, the probability of a comparison. Yeah, isn't that true? Oh, man. No doubt. That's a good comment there. I wish I could zap that one. As an online discussion grows longer, the probability of a comparison involving Nazis or Hitler approaches 100%. M. Vincent says, was Bitcoin this tied to the market before ETFs? Yes. It's actually less tied to the market now than it ever was, I'm pretty sure. Grinder zapped 121 sats. Thank you, my friend. Grinder says, did you see Jack's stream last night? He was on fire. I did listen to that, and I very much enjoyed it. I have a lot of respect for Jack Mallers. He's one of my favorite voices in Bitcoin, truly. There was a couple things that I didn't necessarily 100% agree with him on, but for the most part, I think he absolutely killed it. I think that he's the right guy to be talking about that kind of stuff. He has a big enough platform. He's pretty well known in both the Bitcoin world and like the traditional financial world. So I think that he's the guy, and I think that he's playing that role to a T, honestly. And he summed it up well, and I kind of feel the same way. I just kind of approached it differently with less like urgency. And maybe because I'm not an American myself, I don't have the same level of give a shit as he would. But absolutely agree. Like, he touched on some very important points there when we're looking at XRP and Cardano and Solana. he basically said you can look at that post and see who donated to Donald Trump or President Trump during the campaign. And that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. And just like he said there, he can support the administration while still saying that, like, you know, you're fucking up here. And then he kind of went on to say, like, yes, this is just a post, like nothing's happened yet. And that's kind of what I talked about in my show yesterday. I said, like, don't get too, just chill out a little bit, chill out. It's just a post. Nothing's happened. Nothing's been bought. Maybe he just did that to give Brad Garlinghouse or whatever the fuck his name is, and Charles Hodgson and David Sachs some money for the weekend. Maybe they'll never end up doing it. And we spend all this time and energy worrying about the shit that never even happened. Who knows? I think that it's one of those things, and I think that that's a pretty good lesson overall in life, is like never react, never get too concerned about anything until shit actually happens. Because what's the point? What's the point? There's a quote, and I don't know what the exact quote is, and I don't really want to butcher it here, but it's like people spend 99% of their life worrying about things that never even happen. Like, how true is that? How many people are guilty of that? Of like going through all these different scenarios in your head and like worrying and stressing out about shit that never even happens. So to me, and this is something that Stoicism has taught me, is like only worry about things that are happening now or have happened, and kind of just, detach yourself from the future and the past, because they're not even real things. It's just a complete illusion. You learn from the past. You try to plan for the future, but you never spend too much of your time or energy worrying about them. Mark Twain quote. Yes. What is that? Let's get the real one here, because that's an important quote. Let's get it right. I think I did a decent job of paraphrasing it. Mark Twain, worry quote. Yeah, I mean, this is one of them too. So this is the Twain quote. It says, "I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened." Yes, that's so accurate, so accurate. BitBilly says, "I don't understand the fear of plugging my jade into my computer. If I already have, is there anything I can do?" So BitBilly, and I don't want to scare people here. Like, that's not my intention. I'll bring this back up. It's not my intention to scare people here. I just think people should be aware of it. And my own perspective here is almost like I just don't understand it enough. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You plug something into a device. What happens there? What happens with the connection? What does the computer keep a copy of, and where does that copy go to? Like, these are things that I don't know, and I don't pretend that I know that. And I'm saying that because I don't understand it and know what's happening there, I just don't trust it. And so the reason I like the cold card and the SD card or the QR, with the SD, when you pop it in the computer, even though it's connecting to a computer, when you open up that file, that folder, you can see exactly what's being stored on that SD card. There's nothing hidden there. That's the air gapped aspect of it. So what I would say there is, like, anybody who's like watching this now and worrying about this, like, don't panic. That's the first thing I'd say, is like, don't panic. Don't do anything stupid. The last thing you ever want to do in Bitcoin is like panic. So what you could do there, and what I would suggest anybody who has plugged in with a Trezor, with a Ledger, with a Jade, whatever it is, the thing I would do there is I would order a cold card today. Order a cold card and get it set up. Do everything properly. Write down your 24 words. Don't have a camera around. Do everything like as best you possibly can. And then you move all your Bitcoin to your cold card, or half of it, or whatever you feel comfortable. You can still leave some on your Jade. You move some to your cold card. You think that that's a much safer place there. And then eventually you get a third device. So now you have a Jade, you have a cold card, and maybe you get a Trezor, or you get a secondary cold card, or anything. And then you make a multi-sig out of those 3 devices. And then you move all your Bitcoin to that new wallet that has a multi-sig within it. And once you get into a multi-sig, I would say it's pretty much bulletproof. Then you move to the next stage, which is encrypting all of your recovery phrases. And that's kind of like the final boss in Bitcoin to me. You have no trace of Bitcoin in your house. You have a small amount of Bitcoin on your phone, Aqua Wallet. You maybe keep 2 or 3% of it on your phone. And then the rest is just kind of there. You have maintained full access to it or full ownership and control of the keys. You don't have to trust anybody with it. That's the only problem with the multi-sig, is that you have to leave 2 different devices in 2 different locations. And so you have to trust those people. With encryption, you can hide whatever you're storing at those places where the person has no idea what it is. They have no idea how much Bitcoin you have. They have no way to access it. So that's what I would say there. If you're kind of worried about that, I would buy at least 1 cold card today, maybe even order 2. And I've been trying my best to kind of scream this to people, like just kind of understand where we are right now and what's coming here. Because even if you're not fully ready to get into, like, send all your Bitcoin to a cold card, I would still suggest ordering one today. Because when we go through this bull run here in the next, I don't know, 6-7 months, there's going to be a lot of people whose Bitcoin have gone up in value. And there's going to be a lot of people who are looking to buy a hardware device. And so not only is the supply going to be, it's going to be hard to get. There's going to be lots of demand. Supply is going to be harder to find. Prices will probably go up. Plus, with all this shit going on at the borders between countries and stuff, like, I think that they're going to start holding these devices up at the border. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying it could happen. And I think that postal workers and border agents and everybody's going to be much more informed and knowledgeable about what these things are. And eventually it's going to get to a point where they're going to start intercepting these things and maybe loading some malware onto there that you're completely unaware of. So get ahead of it. Again, even if you don't plan on using it right away and getting it set up, just get it into your possession, get it into your house. Get ahead of this stuff. And again, this might not happen, but that's not the point. The point is that it could. So I'll share a couple different links here for everybody here in the chat. If you're interested with this, with the coin kite there, with the cold card, you get 5% off with that link. You could also get a secondary jade from our friends at QuickBit. You get 15% off with that link. So the first one there is coin kite. That's the cold card. The second one there is the jade. And I would suggest getting a couple different ones. You could go all cold cards, you could go all jades, but I kind of like doing different manufacturers just in case. Because the nice thing about that is if you had 3 different manufacturers, let's say you had a jade, a cold card, and Trezor. The nice thing is, like, if Trezor, if all the private keys got released or something bad happened, your Bitcoin's still fine because that's only one part of your multi-sig. You can't do anything with one signature in that setup, which is a big deal. So with multi-sig, you need 2 signatures. And if one has been compromised, if either cold card, blocks, or CoinKite, Blockstream, or Trezor, if one of them, goes rogue, your Bitcoin's still safe. Multi-sig eliminates that single point of failure for you. So there's a couple. And the other thing too, the last thing that I would say on this in terms of like getting ahead of it is get yourself a Start9. I'll put the code in there too. This is the code for both QuickBit and the Start9. Use 88 sats, and I think you get 15% off and 5% off. Anyways, it's definitely worth it to do. But Start9's another one. I think that these things are going to start. You never know. You just never know. Might get held up at the border. You might get some stuff put into there that you're unaware of. Like, just get this stuff if you have the financial means to do it. If you don't, then don't worry about it. There's nothing that you need to, concern yourself too much with. But if you have the financial means to be doing this and you got a significant amount of Bitcoin, you should 1000% be doing this. Like, don't procrastinate here. The worst thing that you can do right now is procrastinate on this kind of stuff. Sorry, Grinder, I appreciate your message there, but I don't want to confuse everybody here with that. We'll keep things simple today. Keep things simple. But that seems like a pretty good setup if you know what you're doing. That's another, exactly. When you're talking about Trezor, another attack vector when it holds shitcoins. Agreed. You never want to mix your Bitcoin with shitcoins. Like, I've said this plenty of times before, but I'm not like I hope I don't have a meeting today because I don't have my phone on me. Let me check this quickly. I hope nobody's died and I didn't have a meeting today. Okay, I don't. Not until noon today. All right, so we can go a little bit over time today. I don't mind because we got no show tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going into our proof of work course, episode number 2. I'm pumped. I've been doing my best to prepare for these, and the stuff that I'm finding is awesome. Awesome for me. The cool thing about that is, like, I get to learn myself, and I get to, I have people there around me to hold me accountable and me hold them accountable. What's going on here? Hello? Am I hammered drunk here or what's going on? There we go. Ooh, there's a fat zap. Look at that. We got 5,000 sats to our guy, Arnie. You got 5,000 sats. Oh, you can't even see him. Missed it. Missed a good look there from Arnie. Arnie, you got 5,000 sats. Say thanks. Ungrateful. Ungrateful Arnie. All right, what else now? BitBilly says, so air-gapped is referring to using a QR code. Yeah, I mean, that's probably like the best air-gapped way to do it. I use an SD card myself. I love the SD cards. I don't know why. I'll probably start using QR codes and SD cards, but I'm a big SD card kind of guy. But yes, QR codes would be like a true air gap. This is a good question. Horrible name. Great question. Actually, I shouldn't say horrible name, but I'm not going to try to pronounce it. With the US leading the way with the crypto czar, can we expect more countries to follow if Bitcoin gets nation state adoption? 100%. And when that happens, it's a forever thing, right? Yeah. It's always going to be a forever thing. And I think that once people really understand that aspect of it, that this like isn't going to be flying around on exchanges forever. People aren't going to be trading dollars for Bitcoin forever. Once you understand that, then you understand how scarce this asset really is. And when I think about myself, like when I first got into Bitcoin, I was like, oh yeah, the price is going up. I have some debt to pay off. I want a new truck. I want to buy this. I'll buy some Bitcoin and then I'll sell it for more later. Famous last words. And of course, I haven't sold the Bitcoin. I have zero intention to ever sell that Bitcoin now. And I think that that's going to be a theme with people, with companies, with countries. Once you get Bitcoin, once you understand it, you never sell the Bitcoin. That's not just like a catchphrase. You never sell the Bitcoin, at least like 95% of your stack. And if you think about 70% of individuals never selling more than 5% of your stack, meanwhile, 99% of the world still has to show up to this party. Like, things are going to get fucking crazy here. And I don't think people understand that. I really don't. And with our 88 sats project, I'll give you another example here. So when we started the 88 sats project, which is an idea where we buy Bitcoin, we wait 10 years, we buy a golf course with it. The plan there was to wait 10 years, find a golf course, sell the Bitcoin, and have a golf course. But since then, the plan is now to find a golf course, get a loan, use Bitcoin as the collateral for the loan, and never sell the Bitcoin, have a golf course and Bitcoin, make the payments on the loan. You don't lose. If we can't make the payments on the loan, we sell some Bitcoin. Like, that is the new world. That's the new way of the new financial world that we're moving into, is going to be all backed by Bitcoin. All of it. People always say, what's Bitcoin backed by? Everything's going to be backed by Bitcoin. Bitcoin is bound by energy, secured by cryptography, and it's going to be the thing that backs everything. And I do not claim to know everything in Bitcoin, but I've got to the point where I understand that aspect of it. And I think that once you get there, once you fully like understand the never sell your Bitcoin, you know, that's where you want to be, I think. All right, we got a lot of comments. It might be a long show today. That's okay. That's okay. We got people here. We got people in Zap stream. We're good. The Zaps are coming in. When the Zaps are rolling, we never want to shut her down. Duncan zapped 888 sats. Can't believe Strike is not in Canada yet. Yeah, that's I'm a little bit thrown off by that as well. I don't really understand that play, but whatever. Ricky Bobby bought more this morning. Immediately dropped 4%. Long term, no biggie, but damn, that feeling sucks. Yeah, stay the course. Exactly. BitBilly knows. Don't trust, verify, not your keys, not your coins, not your keys, not yourself. BitBilly learned the hard way, that lesson. From Celsius. Jimmy says, another Mark Twain quote. It ain't what you don't know that hurts you. It's what you think you know that ain't so. Very, very applicable in Bitcoin. I think that as this plays out and we're looking back 10 years from now, that's what's going to hurt a lot of people. Is not, you know, they knew something and they didn't do anything about it, but it's just the stuff that they're not aware of. Like I had a meeting with a guy yesterday, the guy from the East Coast. And, you know, he was a pretty knowledgeable guy. He's been in Bitcoin for a little while, you know, but as we were talking through different things and going through different scenarios, he's like, man, I didn't know any of this stuff. Like I knew none of this stuff. And I think that that's a problem when people get into Bitcoin. They spend a lot of time like learning the inner workings of Bitcoin and kind of the value there, but they have no idea like how to secure that. And that's kind of the big disconnect between, you know, Bitcoiners who are somewhat new and Bitcoiners who have been there for a while and learned some hard lessons. And that's what I say. He's like, this information isn't really available anywhere online. I'm like, well, it's available and it's all free. The problem is that you don't really know where to look and you don't know what order that you need to know the stuff in. And so I said, like, when I was going through this myself, there was a lot less information available. There's way less YouTube stuff available. And I just had to learn a lot of these lessons, like BitBilly here, the hard way. The amount of sats that I've lost through the years just by like experimenting and trying different things is going to haunt me one day. I'm sure it already haunts me today. But yeah, that's the problem, is that people just don't know what they don't know. I see a super chat here. Paul, look at that. Paul, my man. Thank you, Paul. $10 super chat today in orange. I think anything over $10 gets an orange tag there, which is perfect for the show. Thank you, Paul. I very much appreciate that. Very, very much appreciate that. Now look at this. We got Mikkel's here. Sup, you sat stacking sleuths. I'm getting better at saying that. Hope everyone is well. And Jor's under 1,000 followers to get the channel to 10K. Yeah, I guess I am, eh? I never even thought about it like that. But you're right. We got 9,000 subscribers on YouTube. But again, that's not something that I really pay attention to, honestly. Like YouTube for me is just a way to talk to people and to help people. I never plan to like retire off of the ad revenue from YouTube. Subscribers is, in a lot of ways, just an illusion. It's the people who show up here every day. It's the people who support the show, like with zaps and comments. That's what really matters. And, the things that we're going to be doing here, we're very close. I think we're less than 24 hours away from our Bitcoin announcement, which is a lot more exciting to me than for most people, but it's what we've been working on, and it's finally almost here. And so the YouTube channel here, as good as it is that the channel's growing, I know that this channel, I'm never going to get like a plaque from YouTube and say like, congrats, Jory, you hit 100,000 subscribers. It's just not on the cards for me. And it's not the inability to do it. It's just that I don't want to do it. I don't want to have that many people, because then it's just all, it doesn't make any sense to pursue that. That's not what things are about. It is really not. So the things that I talk about on here, the way I approach different things, it's not for everybody. It's a very acquired taste, I think. And so a big shout out to everybody who has kind of made it through the filter here of the all my different conversations and rants and stuff like that. That's what we're doing it for. So I appreciate that, Mikkel. And we'll keep going. It's not a priority for me. But I appreciate everybody here very much, probably more than you would ever really realize. But thank you. Okay, I thought this was a legit person, but I don't think that it is. I wish you could just block like people. I know that people can have like 10 different like names or NIMs or whatever, but I wish you could just like block an IP address or block like a person from your life. You never have to think about them, see them, worry about them, anything. Like what does this mean? Being anti-XRP is anti-American? I don't know. Jor predicted Bitcoin to be at 350K. I did not do that, but I did predict it would be 300 by the end of March. And I'm still not convinced that it's not going to happen. I'm a little bit less sure than I was, but I don't know why I'm interacting with bots here. What the fuck am I doing? Mikkel says, I don't wish Canada nosedive, but if that gets Jor here, I'm not going to complain. I don't see that happening anytime soon, but you never know. If the election doesn't go the way it should this year in Canada, then I will be exiting. I wish for a world to send my Bitcoin in, not a world to sell my Bitcoin in. Yes, exactly. I think that's one thing that we need to be paying real close attention to. I've talked about this before, but I think it's very highly relevant still, is that anytime you have to sell your Bitcoin or spend your Bitcoin, like if you're somebody like me who pretty much is all in on Bitcoin and that's where all my liquid long-term capital is, then you're gonna have to sell some Bitcoin once in a while. But the key there is that you're not using exchanges to do it. That's why I highly encourage everybody to join a community, join a network where you can buy and sell Bitcoin from each other, non-KYC, and it doesn't go into the hands of BlackRock or the US government or who else do we not like? Hitler. Anytime you're spending Bitcoin or selling Bitcoin, try to sell it to somebody that you know. Sell it to another person. Don't sell it to an exchange. And eventually what's going to happen there is if everybody started doing that, not selling it to the exchanges, what would happen? Exchanges dry up. What would happen? The price goes fucking crazy. So we have the ability to, in such small changes, have a very big impact in Bitcoin. So it's things we got to be thinking about. And, living in the future is a perfect way to do that. I've bought and sold Bitcoin with other people in the living in the future plenty of times. And the thing there, just like the hardware devices I was talking about, is you want to get there now before it's a problem. So you start building trust with people. And the more people trust you, the more you can interact and take advantage of this Bitcoin network that we have. So if you haven't yet, and plus you're going to be in for a treat tomorrow for our proof of work course every Wednesday. Going to be tomorrow. So we got about 25 people, I think, who have already joined the group chat or the forum. It's not a group chat because I don't want a whole bunch of conversation in there. It's just a way for me to share resources, share stuff with people that are relevant to kind of what we're going through there. So let me see if I can throw that in the chat real quickly here. For anybody who wants to join, we don't do Wednesdays on the channel anymore. We do every day except, well, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday on the channel, but Wednesdays we're going to be for the private community only. So you can get access to that. It's only $5 a month. I guarantee it'll be the best $5 a month you ever spend in your life. And if not, I'll repay it all in Bitcoin. That's my guarantee for it. Okay, what do we got here? Ian. Says, just an observation. I have a Financial Times subscription, and the comments section on anything Bitcoin related are insane. Tulips, Ponzi, magic money. We are definitely still early. Absolutely. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm saying here. Tantrum Shack says, subscribers just click and go away. We who show up every day and get to watch Jorah get dressed in the morning. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Look at this. Bit Billy. Oh, what a series of events there. Isn't that true? I kind of feel bad that, that's the case. It's kind of weird, but anyways, I appreciate that, Tantrum Shack. And I know that you're here, even though I know there's a lot of people who watch the show that just don't comment, but I appreciate you just as much as, everybody else. So, but Bid Billy, we can't ignore this one. 62,000 sats over on Zapstream. Said, you the man, Jor. Oh man, that's the reason why, we show up here. It's good. It's good, obviously for me, but also just for, the feedback loop. It just shows me that whatever I'm talking about here, whatever we go through here every day, even though we don't have a script or an agenda or anything like that, that people are enjoying it. And to me, it's just as much as that as it is about the, the monetary aspect of it. So, Bit Billy, I very much appreciate that. You've been extremely generous with those sats. So, thank you. Matrix, good morning, everyone from White Rock. Love that. That's BC, right? White Rock, BC. All right, what do we got here? Cashmere Fire says, the Trezor I got is the Trezor 5 Bitcoin only edition, and I think I saw it as an SD card slot on the side. I'll have to read up on that and try to understand all the features a little bit more. So what you could do there is, if you're somebody who has a Trezor like that, Trezor 5 Bitcoin only, and if it has the option to air gap, you could always just set up a new wallet with an air gapped wallet, and then just send your Bitcoin from wherever it was to the new wallet and just generate a brand new seed, move the Bitcoin there, and you're safe. Then get yourself a cold card, get yourself another device, and set up a multi-sig. That's what you want. There's the Patreon link in the chat for everybody. If you're interested in joining for the show tomorrow and beyond. You kind of got 5 options there, and I saw a chat here from Letha. Says, I suggest joining 365 level. I've learned so much. And this is from somebody who's been in Bitcoin for a long time, Letha. So that you kind of have 5 options when you're looking at joining the Living the Future community. You got the $5 tier, which gets you access to the group chat, which I think is probably the most underrated thing in Bitcoin. You get the group chat, you get all the videos, you get the proof of work course. You're there, you're in. The next level is the 365, which you get a different Bitcoin video every day. We're on day 62 today. We've done 62 videos, one every day for 2025. Just talking about things that, again, going back to what you don't know. So this is just kind of like a daily refresh, a daily knowledge about Bitcoin. 365, and then we have some higher tiers too if you need a little bit more attention. So we have options for like a quarterly session with me and a monthly session with me. Oh, good spot, Arnie. Look at that. But thank you, Letha. Giselle. Look at that profile pic. Says if that guarantee is real, I'll join. I mean, it's on the internet, so it's got to be real, right? I told everybody, screen grab this if you want to. If you join that proof of work course, join the Living the Future community, and after 6 months you're not in a better place than you were, then just shoot me an email and say, Jor, I want my money back, and I'll send you your full 6 months in Bitcoin. Like it's not, this isn't like a scam. We're trying to figure out, the whole point of this proof of work course is really taking a good hard look at like where you are, who you are, where you want to go, who you want to become, make a plan to get there, and then just take action. And the course is to hold you accountable. The course will provide you with resources. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend to be an expert on anything, but I'm going to share experts in their field, talk about it, how it relates to us, and what we can do about it. So that's kind of the point of it. It's awesome. We're only 1 week into it, but it's so the whole idea with that is it's going to be a very long term, just like Bitcoin is. That's why I did the 365, because I don't think Bitcoin is something you can truly understand in like a video or a week course or a month course. This is every day for a year. Very long-term lens. But at the end of that year, you're going to be a completely different person. And just like with this proof of work course, that's the same kind of thing there, is that this isn't something that where it's like a 2-week hack. You're going to be in a different place. Because anything that you do for 2 weeks or a month or whatever, you just go back to your old ways. You go back to your old habits. So with this, it's going to be like a 6-month kind of start. That's epoch 1. We're going to do that for 4 years for a total of 8 epochs. Some people will stick it out. Some people will leave. But that's the whole idea here, is that we're thinking much longer term and putting things in place every day to get to where, we want to go. So the guarantee is real. So now the ball's in your court. Or as Ricky from Trailer Park Boys would say, Paul's in your court. Mikkel says, I'm going to throw up every time someone mentions Bitcoin in the same sentence as a shitcoin. I mean, that's the one thing I do have a lot of respect for in regards to President Trump, is that he's been very consistent with his messaging. He's said that he wants the US to be the crypto capital of the world. And so that's why I'm very shocked that people are shocked that they're talking about cryptos. But he also does a very good job, I find anyways, of differentiating Bitcoin and crypto. I think he's doing it for a reason. And I could be wrong about that, but that's kind of my take on it. Anyways, we got a couple more zaps here from Tantrum Shack. Zapped 4,000. Fat zap, 4,169 sats. That's a good number. Appreciate that. As we have 69 people in Washington here right now. Love that. Canadian dollar per day is a gift. Yeah, truth. True. All right. Let's we got LaughPad zapped 88 sats. Said I will only sell my sats for good or services, never for inferior money. This tip is a perfect example of my willingness to spend my money on something I value, which is never fiat. 88 sats. Thank you, my friend. Cheers to you. And the Zap stream is going crazy for BitBilly. That's a thick Zap. And then Letha, who's a legend in her own way, says BitBilly is the GOAT. That means a lot coming from Letha, BitBilly. Letha is a legend in her own way. So anyways, let's get out of here, Arnie. What do you think? Should we shut her down for the day? Look at his ears. His ears kill me. He just moves this way wherever he wants to listen to. He moves his ears. Watch. Oh, he's moving his full head here. But that's a pretty unique skill. I wish I could do that. I wish I could point my ear in one direction and then like mute the other one if I wanted to. But Arnie seems to have that ability. Anyways, Arnie, you had a good day on the Zaps today. I don't know what it is. Tuesdays are usually pretty dry on the Zaps. So one heck of a day today for us. Was there anything else that I want to talk about here? That's the question. Oh, we got to give away some Bitcoin. We've taken in enough Bitcoin today. We need to give some back to the community here. Long show today, but that's okay. We'll make up for no show tomorrow. So these sats are courtesy of our very good friends over at Bitcoin Well, the best Bitcoin platform that exists, Bitcoin Well. And the reason for that is because they give the community sats every day. Plus, the best. So it looks like Conrad left a little note in my points history here. Points adjustment, monthly giveaway, top-up points, dish those sats. All right. Your wish is my command, Conrad. So I'll leave that up. Let's get this screen shared here. Get your Lightning wallets out. Point it at the screen. Press send. And get ready to scan. And the first person to scan this code is going to get the sats. So we ready? Set. Go. Let's have a big one today. They deserve it. 210. Okay. We're going to do another one here, though, because it's been a good Tuesday here on the show. And it'll just be a small thank you from me today for all the support, all the nice words, and all the zaps that came in today. So we'll do the 210 one. I'm guessing that's been claimed. Yes. And then we'll also do another one here for the community today. So we got two. You ready? Missed the first one. You got a second chance. Here we go. $500. That's better. That's better. So again, big shout out to Bitcoin Well. Personally, my favorite Bitcoin platform. It's where I buy all my Bitcoin from. You could sell, but as we just talked about, we don't want to be selling our Bitcoin back to these exchanges. So you buy it from there. You set up a recurring buy. You can swap between layer 1, layer 2. You get free sats like this for signing up using that link. You get 5 of these tosses into the wishing well. And if you're in Canada and the US and you haven't tried Bitcoin Well out, that's your actionable item for today. Just try them out. Buy a little bit of Bitcoin, a couple $100 while the prices are low. And, if you don't like it, just delete it. But I guarantee that Bitcoin Well is going to be the exchange that you're using going forward. So big shout out to Bitcoin Well. They're doing some really great things over there, and they are a supporter of the community here. So let's wrap her up, I think, Arn. I did have a couple other things to talk about, but we didn't do our NOSTR one today. Okay, well, we got a couple more minutes here. I've done this a couple times in the last couple days or last couple weeks where I say that we're winding up, half the crowd leaves, and then we go for another 10 minutes. So maybe we'll save that one for a different day, but I do want to get to the NOSTR one. And here it is. So we've been doing NOSTR news once a show here. I don't want that to end. I'll get out of the way here a little bit. Everybody wants to see Arnie, not Jor. So this is our NOSTR news from today. Not really news, but I think it's just a good example of what we can be doing here. So this is Maria, and Maria is actually one of our members of the community here, Maria. So shout out to Maria. I think she listens to most of the shows, but I wanted to highlight this just for the simplicity of it. So Maria says, good morning, NOSTR. I hear rain hitting the roof off and on for a while now. We need the rain, so it's good. Right now, I'll just enjoy my coffee and see what the day brings. There's no shortage of things on the list. Y'all have a great Tuesday. Enjoy your coffee and do your work with a happy heart. Looks like a Bitcoin mug. Looks like the Bitcoin standard there, if I'm not mistaken, in the back. And she got 23 sats for that post. So I just wanted to highlight not as much the post, but just like what's going on there. Like Maria, I've been kind of interacting with Maria for a couple of years now on NOSTR, and she's now one of the members of the community here. She doesn't have anything like crazy. She's just very consistent with posts and very genuine. And like, I don't know, how could you ever like see that and not feel a little bit better after seeing it? Very simple. Nice picture of a Bitcoin mug, whatever she has for thoughts. I just think that too many people overthink things. And they're like, well, I'm not going to get onto NOSTR because I have nothing to talk about. I don't really, I'm not that interesting. But like, and I'm not saying Maria is not interesting. I'm just saying that, this is a perfect example of just like taking a picture of whatever you're doing, share your thoughts, share a bit of positivity and love. And you're going to find people who are appreciative of that. And you're going to, interact with them a little bit more. And they're going to be part of your Bitcoin network. And that's how this whole thing works. So I very much implore everybody and encourage everybody to get onto NOSTR and don't overthink it. Just share whatever you want to. It doesn't have to be about Bitcoin, just whatever you are interested in, and spread a little bit of love for the day because the world needs more of that. So I wanted to highlight that today for Maria. Big shout out to Maria. She's been another very generous supporter of mine. But anyway, something to think about there. So let's wrap her up. Great show today, I think. We'll have a couple different clips from it, and the zaps are rolling in. So I saw a comment here that I think I skipped over, but where was it here? Oh, this is what it was. So just talking about Maria there with consistency, like really dial in on that. Really dial in on that. And part of what we're doing here with Wednesdays is focusing on that, holding each other accountable, being consistent, and just trying to be a little bit better every single day, looking with a very long-term lens and figure out how to get there one day at a time, 1% better every day. But the point here is it says, congratulations, my man. Your consistency is daily ambition to a lot of us. And it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be hard. You just got to be consistent with it. So I hope that people show up tomorrow. I hope there's a bunch of people that join the channel today, join the group, and that'll be tomorrow. So I just threw it in the chat one more time there for everybody, if you want to join, if you're not already a member. But yeah, that's where we'll leave her today. So thank you once again, everybody. Very much appreciate all of you for whatever support you're bringing to the channel here. Just by you being here, it's a good feedback loop for me to keep showing up. So Arnie says thanks too. And I hope you like this shirt. Kathy Wood. So anyways, good to see some new faces in here, or some usually quiet faces. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow for day 2 of proof of work. And for everybody else, we'll see you on Thursday. Bye-bye.